Dear distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to welcome you all for today's magnificent event. I, Mohammed Mansoor, President of Indian Overseas Congress Bahrain, on behalf of my team, would like to wish all of you a very happy Gandhi Jayanti and hoping all of you are staying safe. Gandhism starts with the famous line simple living and high thinking. Mahatma Gandhi is one of the greatest leaders of our country, and his evergreen principles are known as Gandhian principles. Because of his struggle for India's independence, he was called Father of the Nation. His principle of truth and non-violence are just not limited in India. In fact, the whole world follow him and his teachings. Although he was assassinated, it only killed his body because his ideas live in the hearts of people. Today, we are all gathered to celebrate his 151st birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi, his teachings and philosophies. We want to inculcate the Gandhian philosophy of love over hate, truth over lie, inclusive over exclusive, non-violence over violence. Bahrain is a home to many Indians and expatriates alike, and this happens only due to the dedicated love, attention by the ruling family and its people under the wise leadership of His Royal Highness King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, who is a pioneer, and under his supremacy, we have enjoyed the goodwill relationship. Also, catered by His Royal Highness Prince Prime Minister Sheikh Khalifa bin Salman Al Khalifa and His Royal Highness Crown Prince Sheikh Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa. Bahrain is known for its reforms and support provided to the citizens and residents alike, and that has been always very appreciated. To start with the event, let me introduce our guest for today's inaugural event, Dr. Sam Pitroda, the chairman of Indian Overseas Congress and father of Indian Telecom Revolution. Under the leadership of Sam Pitroda, IOC started multiple cultural, social, and charity program, and in just a short duration has managed to create a lot of impact in the Indian diaspora abroad. He has always motivated and encouraged IOC member to contribute towards charity, cultural, and social responsibilities towards our compatriots. He always promoted business relationship between the countries and has been prominent face of IOC. IOC, along with KHK Heroes Foundation, an initiative of His Highness Sheikh Khalid bin Hamad Al Khalifa, have joined hands for a united cause helping those most vulnerable during the corona pandemic. The Indian overseas community, Bahrain, have always ensured to reach out and extend a helping hand in order to support and assist an individual in the Kingdom of Bahrain during the critical stage of pandemic crisis by organizing food kit distribution for the needy and medical assistance, and also webinar series which may prove to be a relevant and historical event. Our aim is to provide young people with a platform for genuine connection and amid uncertainty and generate mental awareness among the young people. I now take the opportunity to welcome our next guest of honor, His Excellency Abdul Nabi Al Shola. He was ex-minister of Labor and Social Affairs. He is the chairman of Al Fanara Group and Dar Al Bilad for Press and Publishing and Distribution. He has held key positions in various government organization agencies in the Kingdom of Bahrain. Also played major role in building the cultural and business relation between the countries. It gives me an immense pleasure to inform you that Mr. Abdul Nabi has written a book on Gandhi. His book, Gandhi and Arab and Muslim, which talks about historic relation between Bahrain and India and Mahatma Gandhi. His book also shortlisted for Sheikh Zayed Book Award in contribution to the Development of Nations category at its 13th session 2018 and 2019. Sir, we welcome you. And our next chief guest does not need any introduction. Ex-Union Cabinet Minister for Road and Transport and National Highway of Government of India, Shri Oscar Fernandes ji. He is a senior most Indian national leader and been a major influence in taking important decisions of the party. I recall that during my school days, I am happy to say that he was my MP of my constituency, Udupi. I used to campaign and distribute leaflets during the election. And it's an honor to be share the screen space with him today. I welcome you, sir. Our other prominent guest for today, Mr. Himanshu Vyas, AICC Secretary, who has been an inspiration to all of us for his adherence, devotion, and perseverance towards the party, and played major role in expanding IOC footprints globally. I welcome you, sir. Now I'm happy to introduce our guest, Dr. Aarti Krishna, the Overseas Congress Middle East in charge, who is also known as the Queen of Repatriation, has always supported and have been a great inspiration and encouragement to IOC. People around the globe used to contact her to reach home, to arrange the chartered flight, and even to get the seats, and even as small things to get any approval from the embassy and airline seats and permission, landing permission in India and in Middle East, especially Middle East. She was on the headlines for working day and night without holding any government position. I salute you and welcome you, madam. Our moderator for today, Mr. Unnikrishnan, is the chairman and managing director of Daily Tribune and 4 p.m. News, and always been a great promoter of bilateralism between Bahrain and India. I welcome you, Mr. Unni. To mark the birth anniversary of Gandhiji, IOC Bahrain chapter has organized speech competition for the young talents of our country, and the children were asked to speak on the significance of Gandhiji's vision and thoughts in the present world. I congratulate all the participants, irrespective of who the winner is. Lastly, but not the least, thank you for all the participants who joined today for your continued patronage. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Mr. Mansoor. The contributions done by Indian Overseas Congress during the pandemic period has helped many expatriates, including Indians in Bahrain. Keep going. Good evening, friends. First, let me apologize for the technical glitches. Welcome to today's webinar conducted by the Indian Overseas Congress, celebrating 151st birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. Some believe that Mahatma Gandhi was an engineer at heart. He is the architect who adopted experimental methods equally in his planning and execution of civil obedience campaigns against the colonial rule. Today, we are fortunate to have an engineer come inventor and entrepreneur, popularly known as the father of India's computer and IT revolution. He was the former Union Cabinet Minister and former advisor to the Indian Prime Minister on public and infrastructure and innovation with us. Let me welcome Mr. Sam Petroda, the chairman of Indian Overseas Congress, for the inaugural speech. Sir, welcome to today's webinar.
Minister Abdullah Nabi Salah, my friend and senior Congress leader Oscar Fernandes and his wife, dear Mansoor Ali, head of our initiative in Bahrain, my friend Secretary AICC, Mr. Himanshu Vyas, Dr. Aarti Krishnan, Mr. Unnikrishnan, ladies and gentlemen, greetings from Chicago. It is indeed a special privilege and honor for me to be here with you to remember a great leader, my inspiration for all my life, Mahatma Gandhi, on his 151st birthday. Another great leader of India, Lal Bahadur Shastri, also had the same birthday. And it is good to be able to remember both of these very simple honest, sincere, dedicated leaders. Today, Gandhi is more relevant to the world than ever before. I believe world is going through a major crisis, not just because of coronavirus, but also because of forces of rising populist movement all over the world. Gandhiji becomes more relevant today also because of connectivity. For the first time in the human history, we are all connected. Never happened before. All 7.5, 7.8 billion people are essentially connected. And this connectivity is very different because it is hyperconnectivity. It is not just about having telephone, but it is all about bringing world's library at your doorstep. It is possible today for a small little kid in a remote village to be able to go visit Guggenheim Museum, see Bahrain as if you have been there. I think that changes the way we begin to see our future. So this connectivity brings about decentralization, democratization, and demonetization. To me, Gandhiji was all about fundamental values, character. We all know Gandhian values, but it is very difficult to practice. If you practice his message, you basically live a very different life. To him, what was important was truth and absolute truth, trust in fellow human being, love for others irrespective of their race, religion, caste, color, belief in freedom, justice, inclusion, democracy. All of these things are so very fundamental. But somehow in this modern life, we have lost track of human values. And everyone is being judged based on different set of parameters, whether it has to do with money, power, position, and in the process, humanity has been put on back burner. And I think today is a good time to really reflect on Gandhian values within us. Forget about somebody else. Each one of us will have to really go inside and see what these things mean to us. Diversity is given to us by nature. And the message I have taken from Gandhiji is that there are only two things that matter in life. One, planet. We are all connected, not only as human beings, but also connected with our natural resources. For example, when we talk about Amazon jungle, whose jungles are these? Are these really Brazilian jungles? Because what happens there affects entire humanity. Himalayas don't belong just to India. It's a human heritage. It's a gift to the whole world. All our rivers, whose rivers are these? So Gandhiji really looked at very holistic approach to life, with clear understanding that every one of us are connected to everything around us. And our first priority ought to be to take care of our planet. Planet doesn't need us. We need planet. And recently we have learned that we haven't paid enough attention to global warming, climate control. And we see the effect of that all over, whether in terms of wildfires in California or floods in some other parts of the world, rising number of hurricanes, typhoons, or drought somewhere. Second thing Gandhiji really focused on, which is important after planet, is people. We are all part of one family. Doesn't matter where you are. When I go to Bahrain, I tell you, I feel at home. The love and affection I have gotten from people in Bahrain is like my lost family that I had not visited for a long time. Everyone was loving, caring, gracious. How many people do that? I had an opportunity to meet most of the distinguished people in Bahrain. And I never felt that I was in a foreign country. They are my brothers and sisters and family. And I have to feel that from my heart. And that's what Gandhiji talked about. Today, truth is not practiced. I'm sure some of you have seen the presidential debate in US on television. And you could see the level of leadership today versus the kind of leadership Gandhiji, Mandela, Martin Luther King, and others practiced. And that's why we need people who can sacrifice, people who love, people who respect other human beings. Diversity has to be the core of human civilization. It would be very boring to have everybody just like me. I enjoy diversity. I enjoy food, dress, music, song, culture. And that's the beauty of human civilization. How could we not respect that? Is what I don't understand. I worry at times about what is going on in India. Like I worry about things going on in America. Rise of populism is not what this world needs. World doesn't need to divide. World doesn't need to propagate lies. World needs to really promote unity, equity, equality, inclusion. And these are not very complicated ideas. But these ideas have to come from your heart. Nobody has to teach you about these things. And that's what Gandhi was all about. I remember as a little boy, when Gandhiji died, I was sitting outside my house. And my father came in and said, Gandhiji just got shot. This was in Orissa. I was about 5 years old. I still remember very clearly. I was born in British Raj. And I understood the power of freedom because it was in the air. Throughout my childhood, we were brought up with Gandhian thought, Gandhian values. I went to a boarding school which was Gandhian. Discipline, truth, trust. All of these things were common. And today's message for all of us has to be just that. That each one of us need to look inside. If we don't practice Gandhian values, we don't deserve to celebrate Gandhiji's 151st birthday. I'm delighted that Mansoor Ali and others have taken this initiative to bring all of us together. I'm equally delighted that my friend Oscar Fernandez has taken time from his busy schedule, along with His Excellency from Bahrain, who has written a book on Gandhi. I look forward to reading it. I look forward to his interview in National Herald. And he is an example of someone who loves diversity. He's an example who has studied humanity, basic values. And I can see from his body language that he's a different kind of human being. And that's what we need. We need more Gandhian in our heart, irrespective of what we wear, what religion we practice, what wealth we have. It is about simplicity. It is about humanity. It's about concern for planet. It's about love. And let's hope that we all spend a little time with ourselves today to look inside and see, do we need to change? Is hate within us good for us? Can we hug and love somebody who is our enemy? And that's the value we can add to our society while remembering Gandhi on his 151st birthday. Thank you, Mansoor. Thanks everybody for giving me this time. Unfortunately, I have another engagement with Pune. I have today about 5 programs on Zoom. So my apology if I have to leave a little early, but I want to be with you as much as I can because I'm interested in today's conversation. I'm interested in listening to everybody. And I want to thank you all for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. As you rightly said, our strength lies in differences, not in similarities. The man who connected India through technology has spoken in length about connecting India by following the philosophy of Mahatma Gandhi. Thank you, Mr. Pitroda, for those wonderful words of wisdom. Let me welcome Mr. Himanshu Vaisu, the AICC Secretary for the speech. Please, sir.
Thank you very much, Unnikrishnan ji. Respected Dr. Sam Pitroda ji, our leader and whom we have worked under him in NSUI and Youth Congress, Sri Oscar Fernandes ji, respected Mr. His Excellency Abdul Nabi Al Shola, former Minister of Labor, and our friend Mansoor ji, Mrs. Aarti Krishnan, who is in charge of Middle East from IOC. Thank you very much for inviting me on this occasion. First of all, I would like to tell that Gandhiji was basically, he was an NRI. He was practicing lawyer in South Africa, and for the freedom movement on 9th of January 1915, he came back to India and started working for the country and started a movement against Britisher. There was no internet, there was no telephone at that time, though he could connect the whole country, and he gave the idea of different things. He only not fought against the Britishers, but he also fought against the evils in the society too. He was a firm believer in secularism. He fought against untouchability. He was working for the poorest of the poor. He was working for the farmers. He worked for the laborers, and how he could gather the society together in the whole freedom movement. Same way, our President, Dr. Sam Pitroda, at a very young age, he was a multi-millionaire in America, but to serve the nation, he was also NRI at that time. He was having American passport, but he wanted to serve for the country, and he came to India and he worked for the nation, left his citizenship, and he connected India very well through telecom. And you know that today India has 1 billion telephones. At that time, telephone was a luxury. People could not afford to have telephone. Common man did not have telephone, but he did it. Today, we have billions of dollars in our treasury in India because he started software technology, exporting of software technology to the world. And today, because of that, India is economically strong. So he is also at that time NRI and worked for India dedicatedly. By heart, he is really a Gandhian. And he always teaches us all over world. We have more than 22 countries, very active Indian Overseas Congress unit. But his message, like Gandhiji was always telling that my life is my message. Same way, Pitoda Sahib, life is his message. Today's our chief guest, Oscar Fernandes sir, also is a pure Gandhian. His simplicity in life, it has impressed us, like we have worked under him for many years. He was working almost 2 or 3 o'clock early morning, from starting from the day 8 o'clock in the morning. And I'm happy to see him today after a long time, because we are disconnected since long years. He is not much in Delhi these days, but we really love him, I tell you. And he has taken care of every worker. I thank Mansoorji to bring Oscarji on this conference, because he is also Gandhian, and I'm happy that his wife is also accompanying him in this program. I'm very happy that Mansoorji organized a competition of students speaking on Mahatma Gandhi. See, that was previously always happening in India in schools. I remember my school days. Always 1 week during that 2nd October, there is always a speaking competition on Mahatma Gandhi, his ideology. So Bahrain has done that. And they are preparing new generation with the ideology of Mahatma Gandhi. And I really like it. I congratulate who has won the competition, and we must appreciate them that they have taken part on our invitation. And today I must thank ruler of Bahrain, who is always helping our cultural activity and our social activity. Artiji, I cannot forget you, because in Middle East, you have throughout Corona work very hard. People have requested many times, middle of the night, that we need some flight, we need ticket, we need something, and you have helped. So we are proud of you as the Indian Overseas Congress Secretary. You have done very good work. And lastly, I once again thank Mansoorji to call me in this conference and give me some time to speak and talk to you guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. In fact, the short and quick information what you shared was a wonderful piece of information. For sure, Dr. Aarti Krishna is a known name among the Indian community members in Bahrain. If my information is not wrong, she has visited more than 6 times to this small, beautiful island. Let me invite Dr. Aarti Krishna, Secretary IOSC Middle East in charge, to deliver felicitation speech. Thank you.
IOC Chairman Sam Petroda ji, our Chief Guest and Rajya Sabha Member Oscar Fernandes ji, our Guest of Honor His Excellency Abdul Nabi Al Shola, AACC Secretary Himamshu ji, Mr. Mansoor Mohammed, President IOC Bahrain, IOC members and friends. It's indeed great pleasure to participate in this event organized by Indian Overseas Congress Bahrain. IOC Bahrain has been organizing very meaningful and excellent program throughout the year. Just yesterday, they had organized a very lively debate on Gandhiji by children selected from various schools in Bahrain. which was also attended by me. Today, they've organized this to celebrate Gandhi Jayanti with eminent guests. I would like to thank Mr. Mansoor Mohammed and his team on this occasion for their great initiatives. Mr. Mansoor also played a major role in developing the sports ties between India and Bahrain, and he also started the first cricket Premier League in Bahrain with the help of His Highness Sheikh Khalid bin Hamad Al Khalifa. I'm very happy to see Sri Askarji and his wife, Mrs. Blossom Fernandez. Askarji is a senior and respected figure in Indian politics who has many accomplishments to his credit. He was one of the early ministers for overseas Indians, which many of you may know. Many of the ideas he put forward as Minister for Overseas Indians have become standard operational procedures today in the Ministry of External Affairs. As we celebrate Gandhi Jayanti today, the thoughts and teachings of Gandhiji remain relevant to this day. When we see strife and divisive tendencies erupt in India and around the world and pose seemingly intractable problems, it's important to remember the twin pillars of Gandhian thought, ahimsa and satyagraha. The power of nonviolence and force of truth to resolve such issues is spoken about more, but practiced very less. Let us resolve on this day to fight the injustice and discrimination through peace, nonviolence, and with the power of truth. Armed with these, there is nothing we cannot achieve. Friends, it is not necessary for immigrant Indians to return to India to serve their brethren in India. There are many ways they can contribute to the development of the mother country. The Indian communities abroad, particularly in the US and UK and Europe, do not necessarily send their earnings to India, but they play a political role in their own societies and create a niche for themselves. India has become a brand today because of the innovative ways they projected India and showed by their own example how India can be strategic partner with other countries. On the other hand, those in the Gulf directly send their money back to India and make the economy grow and people more prosperous. We owe this to Mahatma Gandhi for beginning this crusade for the rights and privileges of Indians in India and abroad. Successive governments have only helped to make this bond with India and its Pravasis stronger. To mark Mahatma Gandhiji's return from South Africa to India, Government of India organizes Pravasi Bharatiya Divas every year, and I'm very proud to say that our IOC chairman, Mr. Sam Pitroda, was one of the earliest recipients of this award in 2005. Gandhiji said, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. As we remember him today, let us rededicate ourselves to his ideals and programs which remain relevant and valid. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to speak today.
Thank you, madam. We look forward to see you soon in Bahrain.
Yeah, sure. Thanks.
Today, we have a very special guest from Bahrain as our guest of honor. He's a very popular name among the Indian expatriates over here. I had a privilege to interview him in the year 2002 while he was decorating the position as the Minister of Labor and Social Affairs in the Kingdom of Bahrain. He is also one of the most popular businessmen in the Kingdom of Bahrain. Recently, he wrote a book on Mahatma Gandhi with the title Gandhi and the Issues of Arabs and Muslims, which was widely read and discussed by many. He studied in India and is very close to Indian art, culture, and values. Your Excellency, welcome to today's webinar. Sir, I would like to welcome you to deliver your thoughts and vision on Mahatma Gandhi's philosophy and its relevance in today's world.
Thank you very much indeed. Thanks a lot. Honorable Shri Sam Pitroda, Chairman IOC, Honorable Shri Oscar Fernandez, MP Rajya Sabha, Mr. Muhammad Mansoor, President IOC Bahrain, our moderator, Mr. P. Unnikrishnan. And I would like to mention each one of you by name, one after the other, but the organizers did not give me enough time, so I will put together my greetings to all you distinguished speakers and panelists, ladies and gentlemen. Namaskar, Assalamu alaikum. Allow me to start by expressing my My thanks and appreciation to the organizers of this event, the Indian Overseas Congress, IOC, for inviting me and providing me with the opportunity of joining the Indian nation and the whole world, in fact, in the celebrations of the 151st birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. I would like to greet you all, and in particular, the Honorable Shri Sam Pitroda, who gave us the honor and the pleasure when he visited Bahrain to be the chief guest and keynote speaker at the inaugural function of Bahrain Indian Society, which was held in 2008 under the then Bahrain Minister of Foreign Affairs, Sheikh Khalid bin Ahmed Al Khalifa, who sends his regard to you, Dr. Pitroda, who is now also the advisor to His Majesty the King for Foreign Relationship. As founding president of the society, I can assure you that we still cherish and appreciate your gesture. I also appreciate your very kind words that you mentioned a little while earlier. As a result of my brief telephone conversation with you, Mr. Pitroda, I would like to focus my remarks today on the theme of the relevance of Mahatma Gandhi and his teachings in today's context or in today's world. In 2007, after almost 60 years of his death, the entire family of nations, through a UN resolution, decided to celebrate this auspicious day as the International Day of Nonviolence, thus reaffirming the universal relevance of the principle of nonviolence, a principle which Mahatma Gandhi spent his life to promote in theory and in practice. On this day, 151 years ago, humanity was blessed and gifted with a child called Mohandas Gandhi, who became the giant Mahatma after dedicating his life and energy serving humanity and human causes, upholding human values, advocating human rights, freedom, justice, equality. He became and remains until today a beacon of hope and source of inspirations to all people across the world who are seeking freedom, justice, equality, and peace. And I can add that if Indians one day decided, God forbid, to bypass the Mahatma or deny his relevance, the rest of the world will not do the same. Gandhi became and is still and will remain one of the utmost inspirational, one of the most inspirational and influential figures in all the world. The teachings and the achievements of Mahatma Gandhi went beyond his successful leadership of the freedom struggle of the Indian nation and securing the independence of his country. His achievements and teachings went beyond that, indeed, to cross space, time, and borders, making him a world hero and making his teachings and the principles universal, remaining valid, fresh, and relevant. The principle of nonviolence, or his biggest teaching to humanity and biggest contribution to the world, every day passes by, demonstrates the relevance and the truth in what he said and taught about violence, that it is an evil and it generates only evil and hatred. We can vouch for that today in our region, in the Middle East, which is marred by wars and conflicts, generating more violence, violence generate more violence, hatred, destruction, and bloodshed. In today's polarized societies and a violent world, looking at the present state of affairs in our region and the rest of the world, and indeed in India, the birthplace of Gandhi, one would not find it difficult to conclude that the teachings of Gandhi is even more needed and more relevant in contemporary world. The shining truth is that instead of diminishing in relevance, Mahatma Gandhi has actually become all the more pertinent in our time, and in fact, there is still a clear and desperate cry for an infusion of more of Gandhi's values and ideals. Mahatma Gandhi gave so much and made a huge, lasting, and ever relevant contribution to the world. He continues to be a relevant thinker today, not only because of his theory and the practice of non-violence, but also because he defended political tolerance and religious pluralism. Today, Gandhi and his teachings and values are respected and rightly considered not only relevant, but important than ever before, even after more than 7 decades of his assassination. This month, exactly this month, in 1969, more than 50 years ago, I visited India for the first time with the intention of spending few days. That visit lasted for more than 4 years after I joined St. Xavier's College in Mumbai as a student of political science. When I landed, India was celebrating the 100th birth anniversary of the Mahatma, the father of the nation. So, in addition to being part of my studies, I developed a deep appreciation, respect, and interest in the Mahatma and his teachings. This was eventually culminated in me writing a book in Arabic, addressed to the Arabic audience, under the title of Gandhi and His Engagement with Islamic and Arab Issues. The book was published and launched at the beginning of the celebrations of the 150th anniversary. Today, the 2nd of October, I'm thrilled and grateful to the IOC for organizing to launch the Urdu edition of the book to coincide with the 151st anniversary celebrations. The Malayalam edition is being launched now in Kerala as we speak now. Yes. The English and Hindi editions are now in the final stages and hopefully will be released before the end of the year in spite of the obstacles imposed by coronavirus. The first and second editions of the Arabic original are out of stock, and the third edition is in the process of printing by the publishers in Beirut. This is yet another demonstration, though very humble, of the relevance of Gandhi and his teachings in the Arab world. With this, I would like to conclude by saying Jai Hind and salute the close relationship and the friendship between the Arab world and India in general, and Bahrain and India in particular, the foundations of which was originally laid down by the Mahatma. Thank you very much again for giving me this opportunity and wish you every success in your deliberations. Thank you.
Sir, thank you for those words of wisdom. It's happy to hear that the book is really moving in the market. I'm very keen to get a copy from Bahrain. I mean, IOC Bahrain has conducted a contest during these days, and today we are going to announce the name of those winners. And I would like to welcome today's chief guest, Mr. Oscar Fernandez, a member of the parliament and former Minister of Transport, Road and Highways and Labour Development, and one of the senior leader of Indian National Congress, to today's webinar. I'm happy to see Ms. Blossom Oscar, the wife of Mr. Oscar Fernandez, along with her. Madam, welcome to today's webinar. Could you please announce the name of those winners who participated in the speech contest?
I take great pleasure in announcing the winners of the competition The first prize goes to Nandita Dilip, New Millennium School. The first prize winner.
Yeah, okay.
Maria
Congrats.
Thompson,
Yeah.
the Asian School, the second prize. And Shamim M. Young Leaders Club, the third prize.
All right, sir. I think we are expecting Nandita to deliver the speech.
Our world today is progressing at an exponentially rapid rate. Every day, new ideas, thoughts, and styles are introduced, with more and more of them being termed as outdated. The generation of today is of the opinion that many ideas which revolutionized the 20th century are no longer relevant. Mahatma Gandhi, the father of our nation, who took the world by storm with his principles, is honestly no exception. But can we say the same about his ideals? Have the once proclaimed immortal teachings of our Bapuji stood the test of time? Or are they simply outdated? Respected judges, fellow contestants, and members of the audience, greetings. Today, on the anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi's birth, I'd like to take everyone present here to take a few minutes to think of not only him, but the message he imparted to the world. How far are the ideas of Satya and Ahimsa relevant today? Are his teachings merely words in our textbooks? And his birthday just another holiday? Let's go through a few ideals of our great Bapuji. 1. Non-violence and Ahimsa. 2. Self-sufficiency. 3. Sarvodaya. 4. Satyagraha and truth. And 5. Swaraj. Let's look at them in a little detail. 1. Non-violence. Bapuji's principle of Ahimsa was widespread. He used the ideas of non-violence and compassion in place of arms against the brutality of colonial violence. Of course, proven successful. 2. Self-sufficiency. Allow me to quote an example. During the non-cooperation movement, the protesters called for a boycott of products manufactured by the British. Self-sufficiency with homespun khadi goods was a key symbol of the nationalist movement. 3. Sarvodaya. Sarvodaya was coined by Gandhiji, aiming to create wealth for the common good of all, benefiting societies, communities, states, and the whole nation. 4. Satyagraha. The fight for truth is a particular form of non-violent resistance, which was the primary tool used by Indians to gain independence. 5. Swaraj. When Mahatma Gandhi first spoke of Swaraj, he meant it in the sense of self-rule. Swaraj meant to be free from foreign influence and external control. So this is the story of this humble human being who stood for truth and honesty, had with him these array of weapons called non-violence, self-sufficiency, Sarvodaya, Satyagraha, and Swaraj. Once upon a time, they had fought the battle well, won the freedom. Indians are happy, Pakistanis are happy. Good job, well done, congratulations, Mr. Gandhi. But in today's fast-paced economy and lifestyle, many of us think that these principles won't work. Sorry, Mr. Gandhi, your principles are old and outdated and won't work with our yo-yo generation's requirements, right? Who said so? Ladies and gentlemen, open your eyes and ears and look all around. Aren't we doing the same thing everywhere, every time, in every walk of life? Mahatma Gandhi was not a saint or a sadhu, but a great visionary who could think and carefully design principled guidelines applicable even after decades. Allow me to substantiate. 1. Non-violence. The lesson we conveniently forget and claim that it's irrelevant. It's extremely relevant, with each generation dealing with more obstacles. Everyone's constantly frustrated. The youth of today immediately seeks violent confrontation. Teach the children about the lesson of our great Bapuji, probably the one available remedy left with us to make this planet a safe space. Coming to self-sufficiency, Make in India program, Digital India, women empowerment, all are schemes of our current running machinery in India being implemented for self-sufficient manufacturing in the country. This is the same self-sufficiency envisaged by our great Bapuji. Moving to Sarvodaya. Universal upliftment of all is indeed what we want, right? Our laws of fundamental rights itself is a good example, as it talks about uniformity everywhere, education for all, and a unified civil code. This principle of equal access is the need of the hour, which is nothing but an extension of Gandhiji's vision of Sarvodaya. Satyagraha, it is one and the same. The trend set by Mahatma Gandhi is followed by many even today for the topic of social justice.
Yeah.
Turn on the TV channels, you will see n number of satyagrahis, even today. Many, of course, do fail to acknowledge Bapu's first principle of non-violence, but I don't mean to comment on that here. Moving to Swaraj. In 2020, Swaraj stands for one's control over his faculties. It is imperative to exercise self-control and self-discipline while being free from the temptations of the outside world. Gandhian practices then and Gandhian practices now have one significant difference. Back then, India had one common enemy, the Britishers. Today, the evils that ravage a society are a little less hard to pinpoint. As Indians, we wage war against corruption, religious intolerance, and hatred every single day. Years ago, Mahatma Gandhi's ideas were applied to the nation as a whole. Today, we need to apply them to better ourselves individually. This micro-level introspection is where the relevance of Gandhian teaching comes in today. In the words of Mahatma Gandhi himself, in a gentle way, you too can shake the world. Jai Hind and happy Gandhi Jayanti.
Thank you, Nandita. It was really superb. It was such a wonderful speech. Keep going, Nandita. Mahatma Gandhi considered politics without principles, commerce without morality, and science without humanity as sins. Today, we have a great name from the Indian soil who touched the lives of many by his simplicity, transparency, and dedication to the society. Let me welcome Mr. Oscar Fernandez Ji, the senior most leader of Congress, to deliver the main speech. Welcome, sir.
Mr. Sam Pitroda, Chairman of IOC, His Excellency Abdul Nabi Al Solaji, Mohammad Mansoor Ji, Himanshu Vyas Ji, Dr. Arti Krishna Ji, Uni Krishnan Ji, I bring to you greetings from respected Sonia Ji, our beloved President of the Congress Party, our former Prime Minister, Dr. Manmohan Singh, and greetings from Sri Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Ji. It is indeed a great pleasure to participate in today's program, which you have organized in Bahrain. Mansoor Ji, the president of the unit, was kind enough to invite me to participate in this program. I, along with my better half Blossom, is here with you and extend all our greetings to our friends in Bahrain and people all over the world, because I am told people, all NRIs all over the world are watching today's program on Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi, his 151st birthday program, we are all together here with Sam Pitroda Ji, who is the international president of our unit. Sam Pitroda Ji has done great service to our nation. I remember the days when we were talking of a trunk call, talking of a lightning call, a STD. Today there is a revolution in the country because of Sam Pitroda Ji helping Raju Ji in having such a revolution in the field of computers and telecommunication. Now the world has become a village. The communication has become so easy, and I salute Sam Pitroda Ji for the great contribution he has done to the nation. And I must congratulate His Excellency Solaji for the book written by him on Mahatma Gandhi. I think it is the first book an Arab has written on Mahatma Gandhi, and I can just appreciate the kind of influence Mahatma Gandhi had on him. He has told us that when we celebrated the centenary of Mahatma Gandhi, he was studying in our country. And today, Mahatma Gandhi is as relevant as he was when he fought the freedom struggle, as he is relevant today. And he is the same Mahatma Gandhi will be relevant in the days to come. For the NRIs, it is a great credit because Mahatma Gandhi was an NRI and he returned to India in 1915. And from that time, he took up the task of bringing the Indians together. When he first met Gokhale ji told him, have a taste of India. You go around India, meet the Indians. And when Mahatma Gandhi went around, what did he find? He found poverty, he found hunger, he found unemployment, the problems of the farmers' agrarian struggle. And he said, it is not enough if we have independence. If we have independence, we should find employment to our people. The country highest rate of uneducated people, we have to provide them education. How do we achieve these things? I must tell you, after independence, Indira Gandhi said, okay, we will give land to the tiller. The dream of Mahatma Gandhi came true. Mahatma Gandhi wanted the villagers to rule themselves, and that is the Panchayat Raj system. And when Rajiv Gandhi became the Prime Minister, he said, I shall bring this and make the villagers rule themselves with the assistance of the central government providing all the finance required by them. This is how he brought about a change in the life of the people. Mahatma Gandhi's bottom line was wipe every tear from every eye. If I keep on speaking about Mahatma Gandhi, I don't think I'll be able to finish my speech even for a day. But I must tell you one incident, how it affected the whole nation and the world. One incident in Bhubaneswar, I would like to highlight. Rajiv Gandhi ji had asked me to meet a great leader, a freedom fighter, and B.N. Pandey. I went and met him and asked him, sir, what are you doing? He was not lifting his head, he was writing. After a while, he looked at me and said, Oscar, I am writing something about the story of unsung heroes. We have all records of great freedom fighters, but nobody has spoken about the unsung heroes. I said, tell me, sir, what is it? He said, I'll give you one instance. He said, I was in Bhubaneswar one day, and there was a procession going on, led by 7 young girls, a huge procession. And the procession was led by a 7-year-old girl, and the 7th child was a 13-year-old child. The procession up to the collector's gate, and the police stopped them. The child said, I won't stop. She was carrying the Congress flag. She said, I will move forward. The policeman told her, if you move forward, I will shoot you down. The elders came running and told the child, let us turn. The child replied, is it for this that you have brought us here? I will not turn back. I will move forward. She took the step forward, and as the police had warned, he shot her down. When she was falling to the ground, she looked behind, and she passed on the flag that she was carrying to the second child. When the second child moved forward, The police again warned her and told her, see what has happened to the one who was carrying the flag, who defied us. You please go, otherwise we'll shoot you down. The girl said, I will follow my sister. She moved forward, she was shot down. The second girl fell to the ground, but before she fell down, she passed on the flag to the third girl, and like that, finally it went to the seventh child. All the 6 children were on the floor,
Sorry.
dead, with the British soldier
come back,
police firing. And then
Okay.
the seventh child, a 13-year-old child, looked behind. And when she looked behind, there was nobody behind her. She
Is
didn't
that
know what to
Sam?
do. She
Sam.
again went forward, and she was also shot in the chest. Straight away to the heart, the bullet went. And when the child was falling to the ground, she held the flag mast tight and held her to the chest. The flag was flying, but the child died. And this is how the freedom of Mahatma Gandhi's struggle took us to the stage of getting us freedom. We got freedom in 1947, and within 6 months, Mahatma Gandhi left us. His task was achieved. What he was destined to achieve for us, Mahatma Gandhi achieved for the nation and left the task to all of us to realize the dream of Mahatma Gandhi. Today, Sonia Gandhi ji, Dr. Manmohan Singh ji have given us a fundamental right, the right to education. The right to education means every child in this country will be educated. The right to food. When all over the country, people are paying 30 rupees for rice and 20 rupees for wheat, Sonia ji and Dr. Manmohan ji said, let our countrymen have enough to feed the poor, and we give rice at 3 rupees a kg and 2 rupees a kg for the poor people in this country. We have a long way to go. I know from the days of wiping every tear from every eye, we have come to the stage of being world leader today. And I'm sure within a decade, India will be in one of the topmost countries in the world. I have to salute His Excellency for writing this book on Mahatma Gandhi. We are proud of you, Your Excellency, for the great task you have undertaken in writing this book and even inspiring our Indians. Our unit in Bahrain, Mansoorji, I thank you for organizing this program. You have inspired our other units in the country. You have inspired our other NRIs, which is headed by Sam Pitroda ji, who has struggled to keep our flag high in the nation, in the Committee of Nations. I thank you for inviting me and also inviting Blossom to be present in this program. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for those informative thoughts and motivating words. I would like to invite Mr. Mansoor again to just give a small thought on Mahatma Ji and his activities in Bahrain.
And in fact, I will not, because all our dignitaries spoke very well about it, and especially ask Sam Pitrodaji, in spite of all his several meetings, he's come back to launch our Excellency's book. And thank you, Sam, for taking these efforts. And yeah, before that, I have some special invitees today joined us, all from the Bahrain, and President of Bahrain Kerala Samajam, Mr. R.K. Pillai, and President of Indian Club, Stalin Joseph, and President of Kannada Sangha, Pradeep Shetty, and very senior journalist and well-known Indian personality, Mr. Soman Baby, and our Bahraini friend, Mr. Jalil Al-Ansari, and our ex-chairman, chairman of Indian School, Mr. Abraham John, and our Bahrain India Society, Mr. Madhavan Kallat, and Jagdeep from IOC Canada, and Gauri Shankar from IOC US, and Sagar Srivastava from Delhi, and our Anura Mattaiji from our event coordinator of the global of IOC, and Cheryl Leona from our women's wing of media and spokesperson of India. And thank you all for joining today's. And now over to Unni Krishnan to launch the event. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Sam, for coming back. I know you are in a very busy schedule today. Let's have the formal launch of Mr. Abdul Nabi Shole's book on Mahatma Gandhi.
Great. Terrific. Thank you. Wow, it's a big book.
Mhm.
Wonderful. Great. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you very much for that. I feel very honored and privileged that you took the time to do that. In fact, at the same time, the Malayalam copy is being now released also. Let me remember, the grandson of Mahatma Gandhi is in that function today now.
Okay, great.
Tushar.
Forgive me
Tushar.
for.
Is it Tushar Gandhi?
That's right. That's right. Yes, that's right. He's there. Yes, he's on the function there as well.
Good, good, good.
So I really appreciate it. Thank you very much all.
This evening we have another function in Chicago for the US where Rajmohan Gandhi, another grandson, is going to be there. But His Excellency, congratulations. I know how difficult it is to write a book. People don't realize it's a very complex task. It's like putting a puzzle together. And every piece of the puzzle has to fit in. So my congratulations to you for getting it done, published, and it is being published in multiple languages. So we are proud of you. We thank you for taking time to do this. And like I said in our conversation earlier, we have a Urdu newspaper as part of the National Herald, where I'm on the board. I will request our Urdu editor to have an interview with you and talk about the book, because our Urdu audience need to listen to you and hear your thoughts on Gandhi. And like I said in my speech, Gandhi is more relevant today than ever before.
Indeed.
And really, we appreciate your taking time out from your busy schedule to study Gandhi, write the book, publish it, and we will make sure that it gets translated into many more Indian languages.
Thanks a lot. Thank you very much.
Looks like a big book. I don't know how many pages is it. It looks like 300 or
It's
so.
over, that's right, around that number.
It looks like that.
Yeah. It is 260 pages.
Yeah. So, you know, that's
Yeah.
good. Are there photographs there?
Sorry, no, unfortunately, this edition doesn't have photograph, but probably the forthcoming one, I'm working onto that.
Good. We have a major
And the
Portal.
English one is being published by Rupa Publishing in Delhi.
great, good publisher, very good publisher.
Yeah.
We have a portal on Mahatma Gandhi. If you all get chance, look it up. It's called Gandhi Heritage Portal. I had an opportunity to work on it and plan it in Manmohan Singh government time. It is one of the finest portal you will find anywhere, where close to 1 million documents on Mahatma Gandhi are available. Free. Photographs, books. It took us 5 years to do it. Unfortunately, nobody knows about it. It is hosted at the Gandhi Ashram in Ahmedabad. We are still working on translating in Japanese, but it is translated into all languages, Chinese, all Indian languages. There are 2 languages missing, so we are working on it, Japanese and South Korean. It is in Spanish, every language. It has all the Gandhiji's audio recording, movies, pratnas, books, speeches, newspapers. Everything about Gandhi is in one place called Gandhi Heritage Portal.
Let me welcome Mr. Soman Baby, the senior most journalist in Bahrain, who is also a recipient of Bharatiya Samman Award. Mr. Soman Baby, we welcome you to today's webinar.
So thank you very much, Mr. Unnikrishnan. Thank you very much, Mr. Mansoor, for organizing such a wonderful program, because we never thought, this will be so fabulous. And Dr. Sam Pitroda, you made it such a wonderful evening. And His Excellency Abdul Nabi Al-Shola, to release his book, it is something wonderful, because he has been working on it for a long time. And he called me several times, and I could not help him. But he was such a wonderful person. Sir, you have done it such a wonderful way. You are great. And Mr. Oscar Fernandez, you made it, and thank you very much for making it. And Dr. Arathi Krishna, and all of you. And this about Mahatma Gandhi, I don't want to say anything more than what is taught now. Truthfulness, dedication, honesty, compassion, non-violence, vision, forgiveness, courage, and faith. His life was his message. His life was his message. So once there was a story in Porbandar, in his ashram, once sannyasi, Swamiji came in his attire, and he said, after seeing everything, he said, I wanted to stay here. Then Swamiji said, Mahatmaji said, you cannot stay here. If you stay here, you have to remove all this dress, because you have to wear a proper full dress and work here, because people are hesitant to serve when a person is like in a dress of a Swamiji. So he finally decided to let his other dress go, and he stayed there in a simple dress, because then Mahatma Gandhi said, now we will serve you better. So this was his message, and his message was a message of non-violence and message of hope. And I am so happy that this message is being portrayed to people around the world. And in Bahrain, we are so happy that you are doing it in such a wonderful way. And thank you very much, Mr. Mansoor. Thank you, Uni. And thank you, my dear friends. And thank you very much. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Mr. Soman. In fact, that's why we call Mahatma as a saint than a leader. Thank you today. Thank you everyone for participating in today's webinar. We had so many participants from different parts of the world. Welcome Mr. Khurshid Alam, the General Secretary of IOC Bahrain, to deliver the vote of thanks. In fact, we are very sorry for the technical glitches what we had in between. I welcome Mr. Khurshid Alam to deliver the vote of thanks.
Am I audible? Can you hear me?
You are. Yeah, we can hear you, Mr. Khurshid.
Respected chief guest and guest of honors, ladies and gentlemen, and beloved children. Good evening and happy Gandhi, as well as Shastri Jayanti too. Wow, it was a great evening, and hope all of you will be carrying great memories of it for a long time. Saying thanks is a small word. When every concern is moving forward together, honestly, the success takes care of itself, because an event owes its success to the people associated. And for this event, IOC Bahrain is blessed by our respected dignitaries like Sri Oscar Fernandes, sir, His Excellency Abdul Nabi Shola, IOC Chairman, Sam Petroda, sir, Himanshu, sir, as well as Dr. Aarti Krishnan and other respected invited guests. An event like this will not happen overnight. The wheel started rolling when the idea was conceived by our president and guidelines was discussed with Sam Petroda, sir, Himanshu, sir, as well as Dr. Aarti, who has always been a point of encouragement for IOC Bahrain. It's a great honor, and we are thankful to our chief guest, Sri Oscar Fernandes, sir, MP Raj Sabha, for accepting our invitation to grace today's virtual event with his better half, as he just mentioned, and put his valuable thoughts on Gandhiji's life and ideologies. We are excited with His Excellencies about Nabi Shola confirmed his presence to grace this event as guest of honor, which resulted the success of today's event of Gandhi Jayanti, and his book on Gandhijian ideology will impact on our life and readers surely. Your Excellency, please accept our sincere thanks for your valuable time and encouragement. We are indebted by your presence. It is truly inspiring that person of your stature has been amongst us today, and your encouragement will certainly create more and more opportunity to do more services related activities as well as charities for our platform for the society at large in Kingdom of Bahrain. My special thanks to MCs, Mr. Uni Krishnan, a prominent journalist, chairman of Daily Tribune newspaper, and Mr. Tawfiq, technical supporter, moderator of today's successful conducted event, principal of various schools, parents, and moreover the children for participating in a study speech competition, which really thrilled us with their wonderful, exciting speech with confidence, as Dr. Aarti rightly mentioned yesterday, that children know Gandhiji more than us. We are also indebted to His Excellency Sheikh Khalid bin Ahmad Al Khalifa for giving us opportunity, our platform IOC Bahrain, to associate and render our services with his organization KHK Heroes for various charities work, distribution of food, medicine, and many needed activities during this pandemic time. As the motto of IOC Bahrain is also the same, to actively contribute and continue to dedicate its efforts for the betterment of the community in Bahrain through its service activities towards various social causes of the society as large. We are also thankful to our valuable invited guests, Anura Mathaiji, Suman Baby, Mr. R.K. Pillai, Mr. Jalil Ansari, I can say him, Mr. Sareen, as well as Stalin Joseph, Madhwan Khalaf, Abraham John, Pradeep Sethi, and various office bearers of IOC from Canada and America. Finally, on behalf of IOC Bahrain and office bearer, wish to extend a very hearty vote of thanks to your presence and valuable time spent with us, and wonderful thoughts on Gandhian ideologies. And the speakers, the thoughts will be remembered for ages. Last but not least, I also like to take the opportunity to place on record my heartily thanks to the entire organizing team of IOC for all the effort they put into making this program a huge success. Thank you very much to one and all. May God bless all of you. Jai Hind. Thank you.
Thank you all. Wish you all a great evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.